Alright, tonight we will be replaying the first mission of Imperial Assault, because we screwed up so many rules last time.
Alright, so here we go. Arriving at the outpost, you immediately open fire upon the troops standing guard. You suspect they know you were coming and that you're likely walking into an ambush. All the same, with the signal continuing to broadcast, there just isn't time for a more subtle approach. So, you've set up. Everything's in place. I have a skill card this time where I forgot that last time. It's Prey Upon Doubt, which lets me exhaust the card when a rebel figure declares an attack, and that figure chooses to either suffer 1 strain or apply 1 evade to the defense result.
Alright. As I mentioned last time, I'm playing 4 mostly random rebel characters. I have 2 melee characters, the Wookiee and the sort of Jedi person, and 2 ranged attackers. Jin Odin here is a pistol-wielding smuggler, and Mak Eshkare is a bold renegade, but theoretically a sniper.
Okay.
Are all your guys deployed the way they're supposed to be?
Indeed.
Wow, that guy seems really forward. Okay. Well, I see no reason to change the SOP, so Garkon is going to charge in.
Okay.
You know what? Is he or isn't he? Yeah, I think he'd better. 1, 2, 3, 4. And he will swing at the probe droid.
Okay.
He rolls a red and a yellow on his vibro staff. Doing 3 damage and a surge.
Okay.
You have defended twice, so I will use the surge for a Pierce 1, which will bring it up to 2 damage.
Okay.
And then he'll do it again. For 2 damage. How many hit points does that thing have?
5. So, that's me then. So the question is, do I go with the probe droid on the assumption that he's going to die soon to get an action out of the way? I think I do. The question is, do we move and shoot one of the other people, or do we just shoot the Wookiee next to us? I think we shoot the Wookiee next to us. So that's what we're going to do. Can I have a yellow? Okay, so here we go. That was terrible.
Does he get a reroll?
He does not.
Well, Garkon doesn't do anything.
Okay, so we do 3, and he recovers 1 damage.
Alright, Garkon takes 3 damage, and because he has rage ability, he also becomes focused.
Focused, right. Okay, so that's... do we want to move? Yeah, I think we do. We're going to move over here. Okay, your turn. Yeah, that's fine.
I think Diala's going to go next. She's going to do a funny little dance around here. 1, 2, 3... Seems like a plan. And she will swing at the probe droid, because I'd really like to get rid of him. She rolls a green and a yellow on her plasteel staff.
That's 2 damage,
yes,
which kills it.
That should do it. Well done, Jedi chick.
All right. Stormtroopers. Stormtrooper number 1. Right here. Decatting the table. Stormtrooper number 1 is going to shoot Jin. And he rolls a blue and a green. And he gets a reroll, but he's not going to. That's 4 damage. Oh, wait, did you get... Oh,
Yes.
you got an evade. I'm sorry. 3 damage.
Alright. Jin takes 3.
Second Stormtrooper will step up 1, and we say that corner is viable, so he will also shoot Jin. I don't have to decide now.
Oh, okay.
We established I can decide after I see what you've rolled.
Oh, no.
But I'm going to reroll this then. 4.
Yikes.
Final
Right.
Stormtrooper will step up and shoot Jin. Reroll. Does it matter? Because the most... Well, I could get 2 damage. Yeah. I mean, we're at 5, 6, 7. It doesn't matter. 3 damage will flip her, and extra damage clears when you go to wounded, so we'll stick with that. Alright, so that was a pretty good Stormtrooper turn, getting 1 wound out of 4. Oh, I'm sorry. We were supposed to go into detail about the mission briefing, because one of the mistakes we made the first time was the specifics of the mission I didn't read out loud, because the rules were a little fuzzy about that. So, we have discussed this off camera, so it wasn't unclear to her, but here are the mission rules. A rebel figure can attack a terminal which has 4 health and 1 defense. If there's an adjacent Imperial, the terminal gets an additional +1 defense. Doors are locked to Imperial figures, and the mission ends when all terminals are destroyed at the end of round 6 or when all heroes are wounded. This door is technically closed, we just moved it aside for visibility purposes. So, there you go.
Alright, my turn?
Yes.
Okay. What did we decide about crates and whether or not they block line of sight?
I'm fairly certain we established that both crates and terminals do not block line of sight or movement, but let me verify that. This is the wrong book.
In the meantime, Jin is going to shoot at this stormtrooper here right in front of her face.
Do not block line of sight or figure movement.
Alright.
I'm sorry, who's attacking who?
Jin is attacking this stormtrooper.
Okay.
She rolls 2 greens on her blaster. She technically needs the surge for accuracy, so for 1 damage total. And she'll do it again. This time she has the accuracy, so she'll use it for damage, so she'll do 1 damage.
Wouldn't that be... Yes, you're right. Can she use the other surge for anything useful?
Nope.
Okay. Imperial officer will shoot Diala. Youch. For 1 damage.
Alright.
And then we'll move... So here's my thinking. He gets to re-roll a defense die if he's adjacent to an ally, but there's value in having him be next to the terminal. But I'm going to put him next to an ally anyway, even if that means that the Wookiee doesn't have to move right now. Okay.
The cat does not fit in the dice tray.
Nice try,
even though he thinks he does. Alright. That leaves Mac Eshkare. He's going to shoot that same stormtrooper that Jin shot.
Okay.
He gets 2 blues on his rifle. Oh my goodness. I'm terrible. Let's try that again. So he does 2 damage and a surge.
Certainly enough to kill him.
Yes. Good. Alright. The frustrating thing about using Mac in this mission is that there is just no room for him to get 4 spaces away from anything.
It's a problem.
When he is 4 spaces away from something, they don't have line of sight to him, and he gets to do all kinds of terrible things to them. But knowing that it's not going to matter... I mean, I hate to put him in line of sight of everybody, but I just don't think I can hide him.
Is it worth trying to take out another stormtrooper?
I suppose. Even though I likely won't. The problem is that by using them to block that passage, it's difficult for me to move up unless That's I go true. Ahead and put my body in the way. So,
I mean, they are just difficult terrain, moving through enemies.
Oh, I didn't know that. What does that mean?
I'm sorry. It means it takes 2 movement points to move into their square.
Okay. Interesting. I probably would have played that move very differently.
Sorry.
No problem. Well, that's okay. We'll just move them up.
Okay. So that's the turn. So I get 2 threat, which I will immediately spend to bring my stormtrooper back. And it's your turn.
All right. Diala is going to wail on the Imperial officer.
Okay.
She will spend 2 strain to get rid of his defense die, because she knows how he rolls.
Yeah. Oof,
Whoa.
Terrible roll.
That is pretty terrible. But it will do a damage and a stun,
okay.
because it did a damage.
Right. And a stun. Okay.
And then, why not? She'll do it again.
He gets his die this time, right?
He does. Assuming you get dice when you're stunned.
You do. So that's
2 damage.
2 damage, which I think kills him. It does.
Great.
No, he can re-roll this. There's always a chance he'll get a dodge. He didn't. Alright.
So that's Diala.
So, Stormtroopers will activate. Wonder Stormtrooper powers. Okay. We already shot... Did I shoot Garkan?
Yes.
Oh, with the probe droid. Yeah, okay, we'll do that. So, we'll start with this guy who moves here and shoots Garkan with a red and a blue. Or, sorry, green and a blue. Re-roll this. Okay, so that's 2.
Alright.
Adjacent guy will shoot Garkan. Actually, no. First we'll do this guy who'll move here and shoot Garkan. Gonna re-roll. Which one has more damage? We figured this out last time. I think this one. Yeah, okay, so 1.
2, right?
1, because they can only plus 1 damage with
awesome.
1 surge. And then last guy will shoot...
Yikes.
For 2.
Okay.
So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 there. And then he will move over to here. Doesn't matter. He'll stay where he is.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, now I have an interesting conundrum, because these stormtroopers make it quite a bit harder to kill that console.
Well, it only gets 1. It's not cumulative.
Right.
But they do make it harder.
And they also ganged up on me to pretty bad effect the last time we tried to play through this. So, I think it's time to curb stomp some stormtroopers.
Okay.
Let's start with Garkan, because he's good at that.
We're going to prey upon doubt.
Okay.
Will he take the strain or the evade?
He'll take the strain.
Fascinating. Okay.
And he'll hit this stormtrooper here.
Okay.
You know what?
It doesn't really matter. Diala has range to both of them.
Diala's already active, though.
True.
Let's hit this one here.
Okay. Ooh, that's a nice die roll.
It is.
That's a lot of damage.
So that comes out to 4 damage.
-1 to 3 and 2 surges.
I'm sorry, no, I was including...
Okay, so 4 damage.
And
he's super dead.
Okay.
So yeah, one's dead and you cleave into another.
Did I need the surge to kill him?
No.
In that case, he'll use the surge to clear a strain.
Okay.
And then he'll cleave to this guy over here.
Okay. Done.
And then he will hit this guy over here.
Okay. Your die rolls are really good tonight.
So that would be...
It's an
4
with the
and a
extra
surge.
surge it kills. Yeah. It's 3 down to 2 if you use 1 surge for damage.
We'll do that.
Are you killing this guy?
Yes.
You don't even need the surge.
Great. We'll use a surge to clear a strain, and then a cleave onto this guy for 1 damage.
Wow. Okay.
Garcon smash!
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Alright, so that's his turn.
Okay.
And your stormtroopers have already gone?
They have.
So, let's use Mac next.
Okay.
He rolls 2 blues. He's right on top of that guy, so range is not going to be a problem. Oh, I totally forgot to roll Garcan's extra die. I'll grab it next time.
Keep it, yeah. Although in that situation, it would have had basically no benefit.
That's possible. Sure, we'll just kill it. Alright. Garcon v Stormtrooper. For 2 damage.
Mac.
I'm sorry, Mac v Stormtrooper.
For 2 damage, which kills it.
Great. Alright, Mac uses his second point to shoot at the console.
Okay.
Blah. For 2 damage, which
-1.
becomes 1 damage.
Yep.
And then Jin is going to come up. And also shoot at the console with her 2 greens. She does a little better. She does 4 down to 3 damage.
Which is enough.
Great. And that's the round.
Yep.
And you cannot reinforce those stormtroopers, am I correct? Because
Correct.
they're all dead.
I cannot. Turn 3.
Alright. We determined that opening the door does take an action, I believe?
Opening the door takes an action, yes.
Alright, well, I'm going to have to do it anyway. She will move up 3 and open the door with her other action.
Okay. The door opens. People deploy. Alright, so, I'm next. The E-Web... Oh.
You also have to make a choice here.
No, I don't. It's at the end of the
End of the
turn.
round, okay.
Jin's already wounded.
Yes.
Everybody else is far away. I do have many dice, however. Let's just take the chance. From this corner, he has a shot on Diala. Let's see whether he's going to have the range. This could be a horrible mistake, but we're going to try it. He gets primary colors. Red, yellow, and blue. On Diala. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's horrible. No, we're not going to do that. That's stupid. Okay, so we're going to do the Stormtroopers first. We're going to do the Imperial officer first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he can take an... He could use an action to command... Oh, it's within 2 spaces, so no, he can't. That's it. He's going to take another move to here. Because he can use this then to target anybody in that range. Alright. So that's the Imperial officer.
Alright.
Your turn.
Garkon doesn't particularly like waiting his turn, but he's gonna come up here and access this crate.
Okay.
At which point he draws a card from
That deck.
the crate
And
deck.
that's his turn, right?
It is.
Yeah.
He gets an Adrenal Stim. Discard this card during your activation to choose yourself or an adjacent friendly figure. The chosen figure recovers 3 strain and becomes focused.
Well, your guys aren't going to get up to the point where my Stormtroopers are, so they'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. Diala is going to swing at the console.
Okay.
She will roll a green and a yellow.
Okay. It is adjacent to a...
Yes, so it will get 2
Imperial.
defense.
Right.
Oh, the lava. Okay. So...
That's 1.
Yes.
Okay. And she moved.
Right.
So, Eweb. We'll shoot Diala.
Oh, but she can use the extra surge to remove
drop
the
a
strain.
strain. Okay. On Diala.
Are you going to re-roll any? You don't have an adjacent
I
Imperial.
don't have a...
You can't.
It doesn't have a reroll anyway.
So that would do 3? 4. Right?
4.
She's going to pay a strain to re-roll that.
Okay.
And take 3.
3. I get a second shot.
That's a whole bunch.
It's a whole bunch.
5, 6, something like that.
6.
Oh, it's an evade.
It's not in the...
All right. Okay, so what is that, down to 4?
I can't see your die. Yes, down to 4. No, because that cancels one of my surges, but I still have a surge, so that's 5.
So that would be 5. That's terrible. Unfortunately, it's probably just not going to get better.
Well, I mean, you could get the evade.
Yeah, but it's
Or the
just a
dodge.
1 in 6 chance.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the Eweb.
All right.
That was a really good roll.
Yeah, I was counting on him to not do quite so much damage. That leaves Mac. Mac is going to come up 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe that gives him line of sight to the dingus.
It does.
So he'll shoot the dingus.
Okay.
I believe his blue dice should give him range. The range is 4.
I would think.
They should do an average of about 3 apiece.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing special I think I can do here.
You have the range, and you do no damage.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And that's the round, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Round 4, 2 threat. Okay. I have to tell you, I'm really tempted to use the other lockdown. I'm going to.
All right.
Door slams shut.
Okay. Tell me about its stats.
It has health 8, defense 1 black die.
Okay. Cool.
And it's your turn.
Okay. Remind me how many hit points the consoles have.
4, with 1 defense and an extra 1 for an adjacent Imperial.
Okay. Well, we're going to start with Diala because she's only getting worse at this point. Swinging at the console.
Okay.
That will do...
3 minus 1, minus 2 to 1?
Yes.
Okay.
And she will heal 2 strain.
Can she heal 2 strain?
I don't see why
You
not.
can only do it once.
Oh, okay. I thought if you had extra surges, you could continue. All right.
1 surge for 1 strain.
And then she'll do it again.
I mean, do you want me to verify that?
That's really fine.
Okay. Well, that's better. 3, 4 minus...
That's 4 down to
that
2.
kills it.
All right. And still heals a strain.
Okay.
So it didn't come to anything, as it happens.
Okay, so then we'll... Stormtrooper. This one will step here. They are blue and green. On Diala.
That was 1 damage.
Well, I would have re-rolled it anyway. Yeah. Okay, so that's
1 damage.
5. She's at 10. She rolls a white.
Oh, sorry.
2. Okay, so second Stormtrooper also has line of sight, so he will shoot her.
Okay. I'll take a strain to reroll that.
Yeah, hoping for the evade.
Getting it.
Alright, last Stormtrooper steps over to here and shoots her.
Evading.
God. Alright.
Jedi are hard to kill, man.
It's to you.
Okay.
I wonder if the door's a mistake. It's worth trying anyway.
Yeah, it's an interesting variant. It's definitely going to slow me down.
Yeah, big time.
You said it takes 8 damage and rolls a black defense die.
No. Yes. It's not just 1 defense, it's a black defense die. Right. You're right, that's better.
Alright. Jin is going to go first.
Okay.
She does more short-range damage than Mac does. So it's going to take 3.
3 on the door. Ouch. Okay.
Well, don't get too excited. Alright. And again.
1 on the door, right?
Yeah. Is that what that die was originally?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Alright, that's Jin. You're up.
Imperial officer. We'll shoot the Jedi. God.
Who will evade it?
Bless. All right.
She might be doomed, but she's not going down without a fight.
Okay, your turn.
Alright, Mac is next, I guess. In the struggle against the door. Everybody's feeling pretty dumb about this one. That is going to do 3.
3. We're up to 7 already. Second shot, this will kill it. Yep, that's it.
Awesome.
Alright, that's me. E-Web.
Keep in mind the E-Web does not have line of sight to Mac.
I know. And it wouldn't anyway, I think. So
I don't know, it might, actually. I don't know if that corner would get both of his front corners.
I don't think that corner gets to the... Oh, but it might get to this corner. Oh, no, because she's blocking it. Yeah, I don't think it does. So, but he'll start with... Diala. Okay.
She'll take a strain to reroll that, because why not? Blocks the surge.
Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 damage.
I gotta assume that does it.
That, yeah, way does it. Well, since he has no better shot, his second shot will be on Jin. Because she's...
Still there.
Still there and weaker than Diala. And getting a player off the board would help me.
He doesn't have range.
He sure doesn't.
He super misses.
No, that's not true because he gets accuracy with a surge.
Ah, BS.
So he is at 6 with 1 surge spent.
He gets +3 on accuracy?
Yeah.
Nice.
He's pretty badass.
Oh, that's not actually on a surge. That's just, he just gets that.
Oh, right. You're right. He doesn't even need the surge. So yeah.
How much damage does he do?
He's at 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ugh. I wish she rerolled defense. But she doesn't. Okay.
Okay, that's him. So you've got 1 guy left.
I do. His speed is 4.
Are we charging or just moving? Well, you... 1, 2, 3... Oh, you can. Okay.
That's an excellent question. Yes, let's charge.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right? You take strain for that.
Yes, but I'm about to take my adrenal stim.
Okay.
Which heals 3 strain.
Okay.
And becomes focused.
Well, that's an action, right?
Nope, it says discard during your activation.
Huh. Nice. Okay.
I mean, how long does it take to say?
Okay, fair point.
I've slapped myself with a stim.
Okay.
Alright, he's going to roll a red and a yellow on the officer.
Okay. Who rolls...
And a green, because he's using his focused.
And a weight die for me, please. Okay.
No way.
Evaded.
That was
or dodged,
terrible.
I should say.
Yep, alright.
Alright. So he gets a second activation.
He does. He will take a strain to increase his move. This is how I understand this works. I don't know if I'm right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Correct. Yes.
He'll take 2 strain and make it 6.
Okay.
Am I right that he can stand on top of that console?
He can.
7.
Okay. Alright, that's the turn. Turn 5. I have 4 threat. I forgot to use my skill again. Alright. So, you're up. I'll have to put in a cut in a still frame that says 10 minutes later.
I'm allowed to think. Through the magic of video editing, it will seem like moments. These are really hard questions because I'm tempted to use Diala to shield Mac. Oh, but the E-Web doesn't have line of sight to Mac, but the Stormtroopers will when they come around the corner. So my options are move Mac first and hide him. Move Garkan first and swing at some consoles. Or move Diala first and use her body to shield Mac while trying to deal out some damage on some Imperial officer. And I think that they're kind of all valuable options.
Yeah.
Mac has not taken any damage, which does help him.
Yes.
So I think Garkan is going to go
You should
first.
flip your token.
Oh, sure.
Garkan's going to go first.
Garkan is going to go first, and he is going to swing at the console underfoot.
Okay.
I don't know what that's doing here. He's got a red and a yellow. Oh, that's terrible. It takes one.
Okay.
Garkan, what are you doing to me? He'll do it again. Hopefully better. He'll do
1. Okay.
Well, that's still terrible.
All right. So, Imperial Officer will go. He will go 1, 2, 3, and shoot. Mac. With a blue and a yellow.
I'm sorry, that's the wrong die. I want everyone to have black dice. Okay, that all gets through.
3
so that's
damage.
3. Nice.
And, oh, shoot. Can I have him not shoot? I didn't mean to do that.
Sure, I guess.
I guess he has to move. I mean, otherwise he'd just be shooting at Diala, who's already wounded. Yeah, he'll do that. And then his action will be to order the E-Web to move.
I didn't know that E-Web could move under any circumstances.
Yes, it just can't shoot and move.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, so that's his turn.
That's the Imperial officer's turn.
Well, Mac knows when to get the hell out of Dodge. Yoink. I'm assuming that's what we're going to do. Although the temptation to shoot at the officer is not completely zero. But I'm not going to chance him getting knocked out by 1 E-Web round. So, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fascinating.
1, 2. Come and get me now, you Imperial bastards.
Okay. Stormtroopers.
You know what? 3, just because it gives them a little better line of sight.
3, 4. On Garkan. One.
1.
1, 2, 3, 4. On Garkan. One. And 1, 2, 3 on Garkan. Oh, man. That was the wrong die to reroll, too. Nothing. Wow.
Garkan says, "Please, sir, can I have another?"
All right. You're up. Garkan's gone.
Yeah, he's gone. I was just thinking that. Okay. Diala is going to come down here.
Yeah. I made a
And
mistake.
oh, I'm sorry. She has a speed of 3 now.
I shouldn't have moved the Imperial officer. He didn't need to move.
And oh, he could have ordered the E-Web without it. Yeah.
He had to be 2 away, and he already was.
And she will roll green and yellow on the console.
Wow.
Yeah, that does surprisingly little,
2,
actually.
3, so 2.
Right, and she'll clear that thing.
Okay. E-Web. Oh, E-Web has line of sight to Diala.
Oh, apparently he can shoot from the back of that gun.
He can't. Any corner.
Cute.
She's already wounded, though.
Yes. And with 12 health, you're unlikely to kill her this round.
Well, let's just kill Jin first.
Makes sense. An excellent attempt. 1, 2, 3, 4,
5,
6. Minus 2. No, minus 1. So 5.
Which does it.
That'll do it.
She's out.
She is out.
Okay, well, his second shot on Diala, because why not? That's good.
Ugh. Oh, she'll re-roll that for a strain. She's not stupid. Alright.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
And that's the turn. So, turn 6.
Alright, this is the last round, as
The
it
last
happens.
round.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jin's off the board. She'll come home.
You're first.
Okay. Let's go with Diala first. She's hacking at this console. It is totally dead.
Dead. Okay, stormtroopers. There's no way we're going to kill him. What are our choices? Because we don't have any. I think we've pretty much lost this, but we're going to try. That's this one. It doesn't really matter which one.
Right, he gets a defense die.
That's 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He has 14. Wow. Okay, one next to him. Ugh.
Some of that's going to re-roll.
Yeah. I think we established blue's better, right?
No, green does more damage.
Green does more damage. Okay.
For those playing along at home, green has a total of 8 damage markers on it, while blue has only 7.
Okay, so that's 1 damage.
All right.
Last one. Defense. That'll do it. He's wounded.
Okay, he's wounded. He's loving it, though.
And you should flip your tokens again.
Oh, I suppose.
I think that's the game.
Well, that's going to depend on whether Garkan can
Roll with a
roll
crap.
this thing.
Yeah, okay.
Because he sure didn't do it last turn. Come on, Garkan.
Yeah, now it's got 2 defense.
Yeah. This could be ugly, and unfortunately there's just nothing that I can do.
If you fail here, it's over.
Yeah.
It's all about these 2 rolls.
And there's nothing I can do to improve his rolls, re-roll his rolls, or anything. So, let's see how it goes. That's 3 damage. Minus 2 is 1 damage.
Need 1 more. It's all down to this.
Actually, I'm not sure that really adds a damage, because I don't
he
know
doesn't
if
have...
Pierce overcomes his DR.
It doesn't.
Okay. In that case, he'll clear a thingy.
I think. I mean, doesn't Pierce overcome...
Oh, I'm sorry. In that case,
surge?
he'll do a cleave 1. Why not?
Sorry.
That's my understanding, but I don't know how defense works on objects.
Pierce. Oh, ignores a block. So yes, not a surge. Pierce ignores a block.
Oh, okay.
So yes, it does do 1 damage.
I don't know if that's how we've been using that.
I'm not sure.
All right. And a defense counts as a block?
Yes,
Mary,
because
oh my goodness.
the symbol means block.
Okay.
And that's it.
3.
You got it.
Did he get it?
Yep.
Wow, that came down to the wire. I feel like this was a much more interesting game.
Yeah. Yeah. I think if I hadn't moved the Imperial officer, I would have gotten...
Well,
it wouldn't have mattered.
Where was he? Let's talk about this.
He was right there. He was
here?
Here.
Okay.
Because he was within 2. So he could have ordered and then moved back. And that's what he should have done.
What would moving back have gotten him?
It would have gotten that console to health the first round Garkan got there. Or was Garkan already there? No, he would have moved back to this one, and then it would have had 2 defense.
Okay.
And that might have made the difference.
It's sort of 50-50, though, because Garkan rolled so poorly in his first round against the console that it was really unlikely.
Yeah.
He did 2 damage apiece on both of those rolls, which was pretty unusual for him.
Okay, so
with all the tests on this level, we're going to call this a final. We've finished Aftermath.
We're not playing this mission.
We're not
again.
playing Aftermath again, and you won. I object, but you won.
Well, if you object,
no, it's fine.
Okay.
We don't need to play again.
No, I was saying we could go with the results of the second trial.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
For those of you watching at home, we did play a couple times off camera, and I won all of them. But
one of them, I think, was actually really interesting because the rebels were all wounded within like 3 rounds.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
My rolling was really good. I was rolling 3s on every black die, and
I think that
and you left the second stormtrooper squad.
The only mistake I made was in that playthrough was that these stormtroopers were still here, which flanked me and just picked me off. And in this playthrough, I was able to take those guys out in round 2. I think it was worth delaying in round 2. Like, I was in such a hurry in the last playthrough that I rushed through the door and I left these stormtroopers, but I think it was worth waiting 1 round to annihilate those stormtroopers just so they stopped reinforcing.
So do you think it would have been smart for me, when you opened the door, to deploy the E-Web there?
I don't think so, because I think he has such a limited line of sight, and he's the most dangerous piece on the board over here. And he gives this console a couple extra hit points.
Yeah.
I mean, 1 extra hit point per attack. And here, I'm just, like, if you deploy him here, he's going to have line of sight.
And then you would have run through the door.
Right.
Of course, then, and honestly, I think that giving the console 7 hit points instead of 3 is better.
It's probably better.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
I just did it as an experiment because you had 3 guys behind the door and figured maybe...
Well, I did a lot of damage to that door early, and I'm not sure that I could have expected that.
Yeah.
And the door rolled pretty poorly on defense.
Yeah.
It should have been averaging probably 2 defense apiece.
Yeah.
But I think I still could have, if you deployed the E-Web over here, I think I still could have kept Mac out of line of sight of pretty much everything.
Yeah.
And kept him as my ace in the hole.
Yeah. All right. Well, there we go.
Yeah, so I think we should go ahead and draw loot cards and mission cards and all that.
Sure. On camera?
Yeah. I think there are some interesting loot questions that are worth talking about.
Sure. So, to reiterate the end of mission results. Their plan disrupted. The remaining Imperial forces fall into a hasty retreat. Nice work. Your pilot grins back at you as you pile into the transport. You receive 100 credits per hero. So total you're getting 800 credits, 400 credits per hero for winning, an additional 400 for the end of mission, and then also 50 for the single crate. So you have 850 credits.
I was really hoping Jin would survive that round so I could go get the crate with her, but it just didn't work out.
Yeah.
So what I do is
I
draw from...
Actually, let's pause just for a second for me to do a little bit of review about the Imperial rules here, as far as what the Imperial can and can't do, and then resume once I've got...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I think hopefully there's a pause in there for you to pause without all of me flubbing about wanting to pause. Anyway.
What are you looking up?
I want to know whether I need to draw from here or whether I can take any from here. The Imperial player draws 4 cards from the agenda deck and may purchase any of them by spending influence. The Imperial player can spend XP to purchase cards from his class deck. Okay, so I can pick anything from my class deck
so your class
and
deck
4
is
from my agenda deck.
So can I continue now?
Yes.
All right, so remind me how many of these loot cards I get to draw and
6.
choose from. Okay, so I'm shuffling the Tier 1 loot deck. I'm going to draw 6 of these, and then we can talk about what they do. All right, so we have what looks like a couple of modifications, a couple of accessories, and a couple of weapons, which is a nice sort of balanced flop. The Marksman Barrel is going to give +2 accuracy to a weapon. It seems like it would go really well on pistol, where you worry about making some of those long-range shots. I don't think Matt Geshka really needs it because he's already got more range, at least than he needed in this mission. The Balanced Tilt is very cool because you can exhaust it once per round to add a surge to your attack results. For characters like Garkan, who would always love to cleave, or Diallo, who would always love to have the option to do more damage or stun. I think that's a really cool thing. Our accessories are a portable med kit. Deplete this card after you rest. You or an adjacent friendly figure recovers 3 damage and 1 surge.
So, a reminder that deplete means once per mission. You flip it over.
That's pretty cool, but at a high cost of 450 credits.
Yeah.
Survival gear. Exhaust this card while performing what is that, an attribute test? It looks like a little fist.
Yes, it's a strength test.
A strength test, I guess, to re-roll 1 die. You ignore additional movement point costs when entering difficult terrain.
That's pretty cool.
That's kind of situational, but sort of cool, and only costs 250. Then our 2 weapons are a Vibroblade, which does 2 green dice with 3 surge abilities. Bleed, which remind me what Bleed does?
A strain. There's a card right here.
Oh, great.
Bleed says, during your activation, after you resolve an action other than the action listed below, you suffer 1 strain.
Okay. And the action below is to get rid of the bleed?
To take an action to discard this condition. That means it would be 2 strain if you take 2 actions.
Oh, because every time you take an action, not...
After you resolve an action.
Okay, got it.
So I assume that's what that means.
So most people are going to just spend an action getting rid of it. It's sort of like an extra stun.
Right.
Okay.
Where, unlike stunned, you have the alternative of ignoring
it. And continuing to take strain instead.
Then
Alright, so that's not a super powerful ability.
The second ability is +1 damage.
Right. And the third ability is Cleave for 2 damage, instead of the 1 damage that Garcan's Vibroaxe currently does. I'm not really sure whether this weapon would be an improvement over either of these weapons, enough to justify its 300 credit cost, because the reach that Diali gets on her weapon is pretty nice, and the red die that Garcan is rolling on his weapon is also pretty badass when it comes to straight up damage.
Because it's 2 green? I can't see.
It does 2 green.
2
the Vibroaxe does 2
which
green.
is a cumulative 16 instead of a red and yellow, which is a cumulative 18.
Right.
So it's a slight step back in net damage.
For a slight upgrade in surge abilities. Which, I mean, to me, on Garcan makes it pretty much an even trade.
And a break even on number of surges on the dice.
Right.
It's 6 either way.
So, I think it's not good for Garcan.
I don't know, I kind of like it. I like the bleed, I like the 2 cleave.
The problem is that Garcan has trouble already rolling enough surges to get his cleave out. And he has to do damage in order to do the cleave, because cleave only goes off if you've damaged your primary target.
Yeah, but you've also now got a +1 damage surge ability, which Garcan has been wanting for really badly.
It's true. I'm not sure it's worth 300 credits for that upgrade. The Armored Gauntlets are another melee weapon. They have 4 surge abilities. They roll a green and a yellow. What we've discovered about the yellow die is it does lots of surge, more surge than any of the other dice at 5, but fewer damage than any of the other dice
at 5.
At also 5,
as opposed to 7, 8, and 13 for blue, green, and red, respectively.
So yeah, so the yellow die is kind of really specialized, but on
with 4 surge
weapon
abilities,
with 4 surge abilities, you can use you can put all those extra surge.
Because now you're looking at 8 possible surge on those 2 dice, because that is a green, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And so it will do on a surge +2 damage, or cleave 1, or pierce 1, or stun. So it basically just really beats somebody to a bloody pulp.
So it basically does everything that Garcan's weapon does, plus
+2 damage.
+2 damage, which is hardcore.
And the stun.
And the stun, which is similarly hardcore.
But its total damage...
is 13 instead of 18.
Right. So it's going to do pretty significantly less damage on average. Although the surge abilities are probably going to make up for it. That's an interesting option.
I like that weapon a lot. So then, that's it. You didn't draw any ranged weapons.
I didn't draw any ranged weapons.
Okay.
Which I'm really okay with, because when I was looking at the ranged weapons, I was finding kind of the same thing I have with the melee weapons, which is that they were expensive, and it might be better to go ahead and upgrade what you have. It's worth noting that even if you buy a modification, you can move it from weapon to weapon in between missions whenever you want. So the modifications, I think, continue to pay long-term dividends, even if you replace your weapons with better weapons.
Yeah,
later.
out of the level 2 or level 3 decks. That's true.
Yeah, the modification will still go on one of those better weapons.
Gear is similar in that regard.
Right. Yeah.
Complete this card after you rest. You or an adjacent friendly figure receives 3 health and 1 strength. That's pretty slick.
It's interesting, but it's 450 credits.
Yeah.
And it requires somebody to take a rest ability already to use it.
Yes, but what's great about it is that you can rest somebody who's not the person who's wounded.
Right. But hopefully they can also get something out of that rest, or it seems like a wasted action.
True. I don't know. There's a reason it's that much. It's because it's pretty slick.
There's no doubt. But after the first mission, I'm kind of inclined to try to get the best bang for the buck when it comes to DPS. Which means I'm probably going to ignore the survival gear and the portable med kit just because of its cost.
Well, the thing is, with all 300s left, the 250 seems like an obvious.
Yeah, except it's just so situational.
It's very situational.
I have yet to roll a strength test. I don't know
Yeah,
what
we've
they're
only
for.
played one mission.
Right, but I still don't know what they're for.
Just looking at the next one in the book, there is a strength test. It's not the next one we're doing, but there is a strength test.
So, yeah. But you're right. If I pull two 300s out, I'm left with 250 extra, but I'm sure that'll be easily spendable next time.
True.
It's worth noting that any of these cards I don't buy after this mission will still be available in addition to more cards after the next mission.
Oh, really?
Isn't that what we decided?
I don't recall. I have this right here.
I could be wrong about this. I do know that the next mission...
Rebel upgrade stage. Rebel players draw 6 cards from the item deck listed on the campaign log and may purchase the cards by spending credits. Place the drawn item cards face up where players collectively decide the cards they wish to purchase.
I sometimes forget that you can play this game...
Shuffle any item cards not purchased back into the deck.
Alright, so they'll shuffle back in. But there are only 6 cards remaining in the items deck.
And you'll be pulling tier 1s for
at least 2 more missions.
2 more missions, and then the fourth one, both. 1 and 2.
Okay.
I guess of your choice.
So
I don't know.
A high likelihood I'll get to see
all of these
some
cards
of these
again.
items again.
I mean, I think you have to assume, especially if you're going to buy 3 cards, I guess maybe you're not. But if you're just going to buy 2 cards, I still think you're pretty likely to see all of these cards again over the course of the next 3 missions. And if you've decided you don't want the Vibroblade now, you're not going to want it later.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure I agree with that. And remember that characters can carry 2 weapons.
True. Although
so somebody with a ranged weapon might be better off with that in melee. Maybe.
I think that Makeshka Ray really never wants to get into melee if he can afford to not to. So...
But what about Jen?
She's already rolling double green. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Okay.
But these armored gauntlets are kind of tempting.
I like them. I like them kind of for both characters, really, although their reach is hard to pass up.
The reach is nice, but, I mean, obviously this is a very claustrophobic map, but I definitely didn't feel like it was a deal breaker, given that you can spend a strain to move 1 square.
I think we're going to find the other missions way, way, way larger in table space.
Yeah, in that case, I might be less inclined to jump on those gauntlets, although I could buy them and hold them for somebody.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, a character can equip 2 weapons, and when Diala can get into melee, she could use the gauntlets.
Yeah.
She's already rolling a green and a yellow, and I think that there's no doubt that... I mean, obviously the gauntlets are better than her plasteel staff if she's already adjacent to an enemy.
Right. And the only reason why that would be... when you're up against melee enemies, the reach is huge. Because it takes an action to move.
True.
So you don't want to give up the reach,
There weren't really any in this mission, but
no,
I'm sure
but there
will be in the
have
future.
to be eventually, right?
I don't know. Imperials do like to shoot things.
Royal Guards are melee.
So I'm kind of inclined to think
Darth Vader's melee.
that the right way to go on this, and this seems, I guess, a little bit melee weighted, is to grab this balanced hilt and the armored gauntlets. Because, for that matter, you could put the balanced hilt on the armored gauntlets if you want, and just really make the most of those surge abilities.
True.
What do you think?
I think those 2 make a lot of sense. I'm still... I have to reiterate that I think the portable medkit is huge in a mission where you're struggling. But you're going to wish you had it.
That's almost certainly true.
But it's expensive.
But if I have it, I'm worried I'll wish it was on a different character.
Yes. Or that you wish you had a better weapon. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
If you kill them before they kill you, you don't need a medkit.
Yeah.
So, alright, just to make a decision, I'm going to go with the Armored Gauntlets and the Ballast Hilt.
Okay.
At that point, I believe I get 1 XP per character to spend from their class decks. Is that correct?
1 XP per character.
And I'm going to do that
off camera?
between now and
Okay,
the next
well, let me
level.
do my random shuffle draw.
So
I
what
draw
are you drawing
4.
here? These are agendas?
These are agendas. I draw 4. And I have 1 influence to spend. 2 of the cards I drew are 1 influence, so I can consider them. The first is a tracking beacon. In monitoring the movements of the rebel forces, the Empire can press its advantage with little threat of reprisal. Place this card in your play area. At the start of each Imperial upgrade stage, the heroes may spend 300 credits to discard this card. If they do not, you draw 1 additional agenda during this stage. Hired help. Choose any target you wish. As long as you pay credits to equal the risk, someone will be willing to take on the job. It says keep this card secret. But
Well, I guess you don't have to tell me which one you buy.
For the sake of entertaining the audience, I'm going to talk about it. During setup of any mission, you may spend 1 influence to play this card. When you deploy or reinforce a hunter group, reduce the deployment cost by 2 and reduce the reinforcement cost by 1. Discard this card at the end of the mission.
Fascinating.
So those are my 2 options.
I mean, I think if I were you, I would just not say if I've spent, note it somewhere, but don't tell me if you've spent the influence to do it at the beginning of any given mission.
Sure. If I decide to take that one. I'm not sure how much an advantage drawing 1 additional agenda is. Maybe later in the game. I'm half tempted just not to spend any at all.
And hold out for better agendas.
And hold out for better stuff. That's what I'm going to do for now.
All right.
And then I also get to spend my 1 XP, if I so choose, on the 2 1 XP cards. But I'll do that off camera. And I think I might make the same decision here of
waiting for better.
Waiting for better.
Yeah. I know that I was tempted when looking at most of my characters' cards to wait for better abilities. The 1 XP abilities are not particularly exciting. They don't seem like game changers, which you'd expect.
Yeah.
The other thing we did already last time was we drew random missions for the Rebel player.
Right.
The Rebel player at this point gets the choice of 2 side missions. We already drew those, and we will read them at the top of the next time after we decide which one we're going to play.
Right. Yes.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. I think that's all we got today. May the Force be with you.
Bye, guys.